Hey, this is part 2 of the Decentral Planning Committee.
Oh shit.
Oh, hey.
Am I already
You're
on this?
here.
Good. All right. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, there's a party.
Yeah, you know it. So meetings now? I guess I'm in the meeting.
Yeah, 5 minutes though.
Okay.
Like,
Get back to you. I'm wrapping up a little bit at work, and then cool. And then
nice, dude.
all right. So I just logged into the app, and then you just popped up. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Well, that's I don't push any buttons except the one. So
yeah, that's crazy, man. Their new app. This is kind of a new open source streaming or like video thing.
that's pretty cool.
Or like, yeah, it works really well. I mean, I'm live streaming on YouTube.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what part of the world are you in right now?
Actually, I'm in Denver.
That's America, man.
Yeah, man. I'm in Trump land.
Oh, yeah. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Are you going to run anytime soon?
I am not going to Seatown this trip. I have a week in Denver, a couple days in San Francisco, a week in Tijuana, and then running back to Europe.
Nice. Oh, hell yeah. Well, shit, yeah. Well, yeah. Let me wrap up here, and then I'll get back to you. I don't. Oh, there's a stop thing. All right, cool.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'll be there. All right. See you soon.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right, bye.
Is he playing? Not that I've seen yet. Just got 2 minutes. You can do video call?
Central.
Hey.
All right. All right. I'm going to hang up on you, Derek, now.
Okay. Z, maybe we should. Oh, hey, Danny. I think that's going to be better for both of us here. I mean, unless you can say hi to people. Let me. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Kirka. This is Z. I don't know. Z's calling in from WhatsApp because Costa Rica has bad internet.
Huh. Hey. What's up, Griff?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
How's it going? Who is there?
Right now we have Derek and Kirka. Sasha will be on, and I think Joey's going to make it. Mitch is going to make it. In fact, I should spam the link to Mitch. I don't know if he has it.
Okay, cool. Who was on the call earlier?
Oh, a lot of people. I don't know, like 20 people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people this morning.
Oh.
Let's see.
Yeah, maybe if it'll be easier to just switch that. So our connection will be clear just with audio, then we can switch on.
Let me see if I can find.
I brought the salt over. For all the people that were on the call.
For some reason you came off speakerphone. Can you say that again? We'll actually start in like 4 minutes. Let the slow people come.
No, it's just listening to me moan and chew on the phone. That's cool. I don't know. Now? I can take advantage of everything.
Yeah, Mitch.
Okay, let me just plug in here. 1 sec. Hello.
Oh, buddy, it is so good to see your face.
Good to see you too.
Aww.
Okay.
Every year I have this like fear that maybe you won't do it again. But thank God that fear is.
Who's that?
It's Z.
Is that Z? Oh, hi Z. Why are you on the phone? Why aren't you here?
Z's a special. She's a sparkle. She's a special one. She gets to call in via phone.
Wow, this is really inconvenient. He's screening the screen.
Apparently, only WhatsApp works in Costa Rica.
Oh my God, useless.
I know.
Okay.
But actually, your internet's pretty shit too, man.
It's like
Is it bad, Griff?
Yeah, well, now I can hear you. For a second, you were breaking up, and just like your camera image quality goes like okay.
Well, let me see. There's like a weird blizzard outside, so I think it's fucking with the internet.
Is there ever a time when there's not a blizzard outside out there?
I mean, yesterday there wasn't a blizzard, but today there's a blizzard, I guess. We're supposed to get like 40 centimeters of snow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, I'm going to try and hotspot it to my phone and see if the internet's better.
I mean, it's surviving right now. You don't have to change anything yet. The only person we're missing now is Turkey. Unless Turkey's this random person. And Joey, actually.
Joey's going to come too.
I hope so. Sasha was here, and he is leaving work. Joey. Oh,
Okay,
so
I'm just gonna,
yeah.
We have talk on the fridge.
So if you're not on your phone, you can see there's a chat window on the left side, and I just added an agenda that we're going to go through. I'm sorry, I'm really hoping that Joey, Sasha, and Sturkey can all make it.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other call, how many people were new?
No one.
That should work a lot better. I switched it to my phone's hotspot.
It does work a lot better. Looks great.
There you go, huh?
Yeah.
It's a Google phone. That's why it works better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Which one? Pixel 3?
It's a Pixel 2.
The Dose.
I saw Ethan's at Burning Man, and I had to get it.
Dude, Google Fi, man, is like, it's like changed my life.
Well, I had to sign a contract with a Canadian provider to get the phone really cheap, so I don't have Google Fi yet.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like you get out of Canada much anyway.
No, that's the thing as well,
Yeah.
But even then, it's like Google Fi is like half the price. It's like $20 or something, no?
Yeah, it's pretty cheap, especially if you don't use much data.
However, it's like the call quality is pretty bad
Is it?
in the US. Yeah, like it's really made for using data for everything.
Yeah, fair.
WhatsApp is way better quality.
Well, I mean, all I use is Tinder anyway, so that's perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, fuck these other guys. Let's get this party started.
Yeah.
So just a quick check-in. Well, I think we all know each other so far, but
Yeah, I
who
think we
you
know.
are and intention for the call. So, hi, I'm Griff. I'm just gonna like keep you guys updated on what happened in the call before and like the general updates from the camp. I'll pass it to Kirka.
Yeah, I'm just trying to feel out what we're gonna do for this year in terms of art car. As I said earlier in the first call today, like one of the big steps to actually making this happen was getting an actual house in San Francisco, so we have space to work on stuff like that in the city without having to leave the city. And I've just done that, so that's kind of good because it means we have space. It also means there's a lot of work going into the house right now, which also stretches me pretty thin. But I'm pretty optimistic we can achieve something this year.
How about Derek?
Yeah. Hey guys. Good to see you again, and girls. Yeah, so I'm here just to help with like any infrastructure stuff that Daniel and I might work on, art car related as well, just helping with the build and seeing what we're doing. Yeah.
Nice.
Who was that? Who was it?
That was Derek. How about you, Z?
Derek. My name is Z. My role last year was helping orientate new burners to the desert. And this year I'm hoping to help step in a bigger role with the organization of the camp. And if one step forward, series if Andy has stepped out. I'm not sure about that. So I wanted to see who is going to take that on this year. But I would do that.
Mitch?
Hi, I'm Mitch. I was doing the kitchen leads / head chef last year. So planning the kitchen construction, helping build the kitchen, and making sure there's food and the food's getting cooked and the people are getting fed. Boom.
Looks like some weird guy with a mustache popped in.
Is that Sasha? What? That thing's disgusting.
Maybe. Hey,
Oh
whatever,
my
man.
god.
Dude, it was a mustache, and I gotta say it's pretty full on now.
My god.
I didn't
You
know.
look like that guy from Fubar.
I just didn't know you could grow that kind of stash, dude.
I didn't either. I didn't either. I guess my 40th birthday year is the time I can finally grow one. Yeah.
It's the moment.
Oh my god.
No, it's a big moment in my life.
Happy birthday.
I mean, it's not until September, but I'm getting there.
He's getting there.
Oh, yeah.
And looks like we got PS Dev in the call too.
Hey, just happy to help out with any logistics.
Nice. Sasha, have you seen Joey around?
Not today. Yesterday. I know he knew about the meeting vote times. I don't know if he was aware of the actual meeting time.
Yeah, he's a bit of a space cadet. He probably doesn't know what time it is right now. So, oh well.
That's also possible.
No, it's cool. I'll catch up with him individually because there's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about. But okay, let's just power through this. Some of you can see the meeting doc. If you are on Jitsi, I put it in the thing. It's also in like
it's on the Riot.
Yeah, it's on the Riot. It's on all over the place. I'll send it to you on Keybase. PS Dev.
So many goddamn platforms.
I got it.
I know. Okay, so this call is being recorded and streamed. Not that anyone would watch it live, but it's just easier to do it that way. We took a badass survey right after the burn last year, and there's a link in this document to it. It's informing a lot of the decisions we're making this year. So thanks for everyone who jumped in there and gave us the input. We have the main communication for this is on Telegram and Riot. So hopefully you guys can grab one of those platforms and to stay up to date on like active chats. We also, in last group, we started a couple other groups. The art car group, which Kirka is on, and I'm sure you'll talk about more later. The DECENTRAL internet group, which Tim or I can add you to if you want to help with the internet. And eventually we'll set up a speaker series call. But the big changes for this year are that we'll be using DAI, which is a stable coin. So we don't have to deal with fucking fluctuations in Ether, which will kind of also allow us to have stricter rules for who can come camp with us. We kind of got burned last year because Ether tanked and I had to let in a bunch of douchebags at the end. So we won't have to do that again.
Wow.
Dude,
hopefully we weren't on that list of people. But
I don't know. I thought the sparkle ponies made the camp pretty.
Well, the number one comment from the survey was, who the fuck let in these douchebags, right? I mean, that was lazy fucks that don't want to participate. So we will be stricter this year. Also, the speaking area is going to be in the same area as all the other domes. So we'll make sure all of our events for the village are in one spot. Kirka's working on an art car. That's really exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then this year also is Year of the Moms. So that doesn't mean that girlfriend that you knocked up. That means your actual mom, like grandma, right? So
I was getting excited here.
I'm sorry. But so that if you want to invite your mom, you really should. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we have a goal of having 50% first timers. So that means that most of the people who came last year that aren't helping to organize probably will not be in the camp. They'll have to start a second camp, which that's another topic. That's like we're going to try to decentralize Decentral a little bit. I don't have a whole big plan set up for it. Holly, who has led a camp in the past and is kind of a crypto person, maybe she'll lead it. There might be other people. We'll see. And the other big piece is that we'll have a backup generator just for us.
Yeah.
to make sure. Because we really used those generators last year. So, cool. If you have an agenda topic, please add it to the document. But the first topic is that in about a week, I have to give Daryl a list of people that are willing to buy tickets in the directed group sale. This year, it sounds like they're going to give a lot more tickets via the group sale and less tickets via, like the lottery. So I'd like to have an extensive list of people who can buy tickets. So, and even if you don't have a second person for that ticket yet, it'd be really cool to like buy 2 tickets anyway.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get a chance to see how the directed group sale works.
It's not up yet, but basically the directed group sale is going to be for the village as a whole. So we'll get, like, Daryl will apply for it basically for Anahasana Village, and we'll get X number of tickets, and it'll be divided up equally among the 3 camps.
Yeah. And whoever can pitch money to buy those tickets, like, we're just going to buy a big block of tickets all at once.
Every person gets to buy 2 tickets.
Okay.
So, and you have to have an email with a burner profile.
Okay. All right.
So I can get on that list, Griff. How much are the tickets?
It'll be like $1,000, maybe 1,100. They haven't even said how much tickets are this year.
Jesus fuck.
I mean, if you don't have those kind of funds, maybe I can make it happen and get them to you, like Mitch. I don't know. You might not have $1,100 lying around, but
not really. No, not for.
Obviously, you need one of these tickets, so I could probably throw you some cash, and they can be the camps tickets.
Well, we'll figure it out.
I can buy 2.
Do you have the document? The Google Doc? Under point 1, just put your name and email.
Hey, Griff.
Yeah?
Is there a way that we can create a milestone to get those tickets covered for those of us who can't pay?
Yeah, of course.
Like pay out.
Of course. But I mean, in the end, I'd need to get you actual fiat money into your bank account, so that you can buy it. Guy's not going to cut.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Yeah.
Okay. How soon is the group sale coming out, though?
Sasha, can you grab tickets?
Yeah, I can go for tickets. I don't know if I have the money at the moment.
Okay, I'll put you in that list. In the end, I don't know how many tickets we'll get, so we'll just put you guys down lower on the list, and if it happens, we'll make sure that you guys get the money somehow.
Sounds good.
And Derek, were you interested in game tickets?
Yeah, I can help out.
Can you put do you have this document, the Google Doc?
Yeah, I got it.
I forget how to spell your last name. I know it's like Aaliyah, but
ALIA.
Yeah, I thought you should. That's pretty as easy as it gets, huh? Okay. And then the email on your burner profile.
Yeah.
I didn't put it down earlier.
I already did that. I already did that, Griff. I put my burner profile email. I'm just gonna need someone to send me, if you let me know when that's gonna happen, because I'll be. If you just let me know now's the time, and I'll go in and buy them.
Yeah. No. You'll end up being emailed a link, and I'll make sure to spam everybody many times over. Okay. And so then the next one is where do we do communications? basically, there's this Riot Telegram thing, so I'm really hoping everyone can be on Riot or Telegram. And then email will be put into play once a form comes out. Lindsay's going to put the form out to people. And then I'm actually going to start this thing called Lumio, which is a website where you can kind of have threaded conversation. So that it'll be nice for topics. And what's really nice about Lumio is you can have a lot of polls. Like it's really made for group decisions. So I'll start one of those after this.
Well, okay.
Also, Camp Contact and Naked Heart have Mattermost channels, so we'll probably bridge to those. We'll see how that goes. I don't think anyone has any comments on that, right?
No, I'm just going to use Riot and Telegram, and hopefully I stay in the loop.
Yeah, that'll work out. Telegram will work out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so rules for reporters. There are 2 reporters who want to come to our camp this year. One of them for sure would make it in just on merit because she's pretty cool. The other guy is also pretty cool, but he's like more on the edge. We kind of had a discussion. You can see a lot of the notes in the document, but basically this discussion kind of led to the idea of, hey, we need a larger social media policy in general. And the general consensus was that, hey, for all social media or any other media, if you have any pictures or you want to say someone's names, you need to have explicit consent, whether you're posting on Facebook, Forbes, or anything like that, sending it to anybody. You need explicit consent. And we'll make a thread about this, but does anyone have any major objections to laying down some ground rules?
Why is the reporter coming?
Well, because they don't have to. If there was a huge uproar against reporters.
Hold on, there's a bunch of background sound from Sasha. Let me just.
Sasha, I think we can mute him.
Okay.
He's
Sasha,
muted.
you're muted, so I can't hear you if you talk. All I can see is her mustache moving. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, but he can unmute himself, hopefully. Okay, so there are reporters, because reporters are humans. So, like, if they're crypto humans and like it's their first time, I kind of want them to come to the camp. But but I'm open to. There weren't any objections, actually. In fact, everyone was pretty on board to this idea of like, yeah, reporters are cool as long as they respect everyone's,
yeah. I just am curious why they're there. Like, if they want to write a piece, or is it some sort of project they're working on, or?
No, they're just humans.
They're just chilling and they just want to write a story.
No, they don't even want to write a story. They just want to go to Burning Man. They just happen to have.
They just happen to be a reporter. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not like some. Go ahead, Z.
My concern is that based on the excessive choice of altering experiences at our camp, if one of those people did decide to write a piece, like, I would almost want them to just have like a waiver of them being there, and it's like, yeah, they have a profession and we're aware of that, and like anyone can go out and write a story, but it's like, if that is something that eventually interests them, it's like, I don't want anyone to be put on blast, and I don't want their safety to compromise because of this situation. You said the one cool. And the other guys on the fence, like, who are these people? Can we research them? Have they been to Burning Man, or are they new burners? You know, it's like, do they know what they're getting into, and how can we get assurance that they're not going to write a piece and then just, like, change Mitch's name to, or, like, switch and still talk? You know, it's like, how do we know?
Yeah, I think we have to assume that they're going to write a piece. Like, even if, like, the girl from Forbes says she doesn't plan on it. I don't know about the Bloomberg guy, but they're reporters. They're going to go to Burning Man. They're going to want to write about their experience for sure. Like, how do you not?
Yeah.
So,
but then, you know, maybe they can do that, but it has to be some sort of anonymity, or saying, okay, it's cool if you put me in your piece, and this person says it's not cool if you put me in your piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we ended up early in the morning with the discussion. There has to be some trust, and like, we don't want to be thinking about filtering ourselves even at Burning Man, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we should make assumptions on this person without meeting. So
yeah, exactly.
I think it'd be cool to, like, chit chat with them, or maybe just when we actually go to Burning Man and meet them, we're going to realize, oh, this is totally fine, and figure it out.
I've met the Bloomberg guy. He's pretty chill. I think he respects the consent stuff. I haven't talked to him about what his intentions are. The Forbes person seems really cool. She's like, yeah, I like her articles at least. So, like, she's more tech focused than you know, hit pieces kind of stuff. So
okay, all right.
I think
cool.
Okay. But what's really important here is I think it brought out a need for, in general, having a social media conversation with anyone, because like, as Z said, anyone can write an article. So we should have clear ground, a clear policy on, like, don't post shit on Facebook unless you ask for someone's permission. That means pictures. That means, you know, saying people's names. Stuff like that.
Do you feel like that was something that was a problem last year or the year before?
No, it's never been a problem. And people post things, you know, I think that there's, like, it's tough because, oh, look at all of us just smiling next to the man, like a selfie. You know, I feel like that's probably okay most of the time. But,
yeah,
you know, so it's going to be, we just need to have a conversation about it and create a policy.
Sure. Okay. Do you think that's something better hashed out online, or maybe, like, once you'll get there?
No, we'll hash it out before we get there for sure. Lumio is a great place to set this up.
That all should be part of the entrance application into the camp now.
Yeah, it probably will be something everyone has to, like, agree to somehow. But yeah, and then but I want to move on unless someone has any, like, really strong opinions about that. I want to say.
Nope.
Okay, cool. So next one is gift to the playa. So there was a lot of, in the survey, there was a lot of talk about moving from 2 stages down to 1. There is a policy, like, we have to have a solid gift to give. So if we move from 2 stages down to 1, then we would need to up our gift giving in some other way. But actually, a lot of the talk earlier came to the idea of maybe we have like one really scheduled, like, high caliber talks in one spot, and then we have more of an open format workshop vibe with a looser organization for the other spot. We'll see. Does anyone have any comments on, like, reducing from 2 stages down to 1, or for or against?
Well, at least from, like, a build and takedown perspective, it seemed like we had some issues with the big space. We had to leave it up a day early and take it down later because Camp Contact needed it or something. And so moving from 2 down to 1 will make it easier for build and takedown.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on Mitch's statement equipment with also like the resources. It felt like it was confusing for volunteers to go over to the dome. We got a lot of good street cover with the ones. We got as many participants coming into our dome space as we were coming off the street into our speaker stage, our other main stage. But I think just like also with Sturkey and Kai's attention and ability to make sure that our audio equipment's running smoothly.
And Cam.
Pulling from the power. I feel like one stage became monitored as opposed to two.
Yeah, and we're not gonna. I have unless the speaker series people are really hot to trot. I have no interest in trying to do video. We do have like a kind of a podcast that started up, so we will work with Media Mecca to like get permission to do audio recordings. But the video has just never worked out. So I'm hoping that will ease some of the issues, and also having both of the spots near each other in the same area, I think will help a lot. We'll see. I think at least from the conversation earlier, it kind of sounded that we would probably stick with 2 stages and just have the other dome be, relatively empty, or like really loosely organized and allow a space for people to self-organize. But and not like maybe we don't record it. Maybe it's just like here's a space, because the other side of it is that a lot of people want to give talks on crypto, and so if we have one space, it's actually not enough for everyone to give talks. But 2 spaces is a little too much, so it's like this weird in between.
I have a thought.
Yeah.
Here's a thought. Sasha's thoughts on this too. What if in the more loosely organized stage, we like central conversation and tea, and we had more of like sometimes, like not all the time obviously, but we did some sort of tea service where it was like a panel conversation, but everyone's still having tea and engaging in this conversation, as opposed to it being more of a lecture or something like that. Like that might be a more inviting, looser way to talk about it.
Yeah, that's likely going to happen.
I like the tea idea. I think that's a really cool like social way. I think if maybe we want to take more of like a loosely formatted thing, why don't we just integrate it into our common space? Because I find that often that happens anyway. Is people who just want to talk about stuff, they just come into our common space and they sit down on some lawn chairs, and then they end up just having these conversations by themselves without necessarily being planned.
That would be interesting, right? We could just take over the middle area once in a while.
And we could have tea.
Yeah.
And Sasha could bring his fireplace.
Yeah. A fireside chat.
Yeah, because I mean, it happens anyway. Like what you're saying with this loose, people just come in if they want to talk. Like, they just come to our camp and be like, hey, you guys, I want to talk about this thing. And be like, okay, we'll pull up a chair.
Yeah.
Rather than building a whole another fucking dome just for something that like we're not really sure what's going to happen inside of it.
Well, but the dome's going to be built anyway. That's the thing.
Not necessarily. Technically, we rented that dome, and I think that dome will come back to the burn, especially since the guy who we rented it from is actually coming to the burn this year. But we technically don't need to have that dome. We'll see. We'll see. The thing is, if we don't put up that dome, we're going to need to really kick it up with another piece of another structure or another gift. So things that people brought up last time, Alexi and Sasha want to do like a way stronger ice cream thing. Lorelai, if she comes, she's really excited about doing like some kind of herbal medicine side gig. There was some talk about doing daily meditations. But the big one that I think can really, if we can pull it off, and it looks like we can pull it off, that would allow us to go from 2 stages down to 1, would be the art car. If we have an art car, we're golden. So speaking of that, Kirka, do you want to just give everyone an update on that?
I want to know about this thing.
I don't have a really great update here. So to put this into reality, the first thing we need is actually a space to be able to work on this. I just bought a house mid-January in San Francisco. I'm actually sitting in it right now. That means we actually will have a space that we can work on something that big. Garage downstairs is big enough to actually have it contained there before the burn. I met a bunch of people at Google that have been going to the burn for a while, and one of them has a really great property out here in the Santa Cruz Mountains, which would give us storage space for something like that, for some big structure without needing to pay for it. I'm trying to get him convinced to be in on this too. And then we would have all basic things in place to actually start working on it. In terms of the actual car, and this is very preliminary, I'm thinking we should take a old Nissan Leaf, probably one that's scrap, and gut the whole thing down entirely to the shell that supports the battery pack and the motor, and that would give us a really, really nice platform that wouldn't create any noise at all while we actually move it. And given that we will only move it at very low speeds on the ply, it would give us more than needed range. We already have enough solar power to actually recharge the thing during the day, which means we can only move it during the night. But I think that would be a fair compromise. In terms of a question, what we could actually put on such a platform, I'm very open to hearing what people think would be a good idea. I'm not the artist. I'm more the engineer that can make things happen, and then we have to figure out what should be on top of such a platform. Jared can maybe speak a little bit to his idea.
What is the vessel? Is this, how big is the vehicle? Is this like a pickup truck with a back bed, or is this like what is the size of the vehicle? How big is this platform?
We can make it as big as we like. All I'm saying, under the covers is basically just an electric car, but we can cut that car in half and make the platform in between that's being carried by the vehicle as big as we'd like. I think for practical reasons,
if you make it carry it,
go ahead.
If you make it carry a trailer, like that opens up a lot of doors in terms of like you just have to build the drive unit, and then like the actual art car could just be like a gooseneck trailer on top of it.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah, I imagine we can make a pretty big platform. I mean, a Nissan Leaf that can go, 45 miles an hour, or sorry, 100 miles an hour. It can probably, does it have the torque to pull a lot of weight?
Yeah, so just doing the math on that, we would be able at low speeds to move roughly 30 tons with the motors.
30 tons?
Yes, the electric motors have quite a lot of torque. I was very surprised at that. I would go up to that limit, but if you think 10 tons would be totally fine.
Wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
So we can make a pretty big platform.
Yeah.
And how many people do you think you need to do this, and how much money? Do you have any ideas? Even rough estimates?
No, I haven't even spec'd through it yet. Like, my next step is to actually get a decent idea if this is a viable platform. The only thing I've dug into this a couple months ago with a friend that had an old Nissan Leaf going out of service, and we dug into the data sheets and going through how we could do it on that platform, and it looked pretty viable. Just before the call, I started looking into scrap ones. They generally go for, assuming the motor is still fine and the battery pack is still fine, they just crashed in some other way, which we frankly don't care much about. They generally go for $500 to $1,000 for the platform. So now you can start welding stuff on top of that. So I think just having a platform that moves should be possible to set up like that under 10 grand, which sounds pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah.
I've also met with 8 other teams out of the Bay Area that have done different art cars at different times and chatted with them about how they've done it in the past. So I have a pretty good idea of what people have done and what they think isn't a great idea in the first place.
Well, I really liked your idea of just a flat platform and then making it next year going bigger with it, but having something relatively basic. You know, obviously it would be pretty cool to have blocks and chains or something like that.
And mackerel.
We could float some mackerel.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see. Anyone else got anything to comment on the art car?
Nope.
Is there going to be some sort of separate chat for that?
I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, can you say that again?
You said there'll be a chat.
Sorry, you're breaking up, see?
Let me see if I can send it.
There is a separate Telegram chat, if that's what you're saying. Okay, yes. See, just want to know that there's a Telegram chat. Okay, and then, so that's that. Does anyone have any, there's also a giant toad in Z's room. Does anyone else have any ideas for other gifts?
I mean, we could have a tea lounge set up. You know, I always like serving tea. Joey's definitely likes to serve. And it's just a nice chill space for meeting also and just having good conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, tea lounge would be amazing.
Okay, got it down.
Okay. All right.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And then, so the next thing is roles. So we have a role sheet. We will the document, the link to the document is in there. Not a whole lot of conversation to do about this. The main thing is that there's going to be, since we have so many people who have been to the burn before, there's a lot more opportunity to kind of lean on people to like own the role pre-burn and do the planning and be responsible for it. So like that will take a lot of stuff off my shoulders, and we can decentralize Decentral a lot more this year. So if there's a role that you want, don't be afraid to put your name down on it. Especially if you did it last year already. But if there's, if you have a couple roles that you want, you can put your name down for multiple. In fact, a lot of these roles are split up so that it's so that you can. Oh, Z sent me a picture of the toad. That's legit. It's like on her cell phone, like the toad is. Anyway, if you these roles are going to be broken up into like points, and for full dues and a free ticket, you need to have 6 points and this kind of stuff. All that's still kind of fuzzy. The main thing that I'm trying to shoot for is like basically 30 people have free dues, and some of those people get free tickets as well, and 50 people have to pay full dues so that we can actually still pay for things in the camp. And that's about the breakup. So depending on how many roles we have and this kind of things, the points will probably move around a bit. But please, if you have any roles that you think would have been useful last year that we really need, definitely put it in there. If you have descriptions or like something that you think a specific role needs to remember, put it in the description of that role in the sheet, and just like let's help figure out the I don't know, the needs of our camp in this role sheet, and that's where a lot of the organization can happen.
Is there a dedicated bike tech as a role?
I mean, if you think we need it, then yeah, put it in there.
I guess it really depends on where we're going to source these bicycles this year and what kind of responsibility we have for maintenance. I mean, yeah, I know just so many of those Huffy bicycles, like before they were even ridden for the first time, they needed maintenance just coming off the trailer. So,
yeah, for sure. I mean, we have not. I mean, I think we have about 50 bikes from last year that we'll bring down, and then I think we'll probably rent the rest from other people. So I imagine there will need to be some bike stewardship.
Okay, I think most of it it'll be okay, but you know they're just going to fall apart because of supply. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, since you're on your phone, I'll put in the bike stewardship role.
Sure.
And then.
Who's signing up for the bike stewardship role?
The professional bike guy, Sasha.
Sasha, you wizard, you.
I wizard. Yeah.
And then it might end up getting combined with some other bike, like the bike racks or something, because you know, it might just be like, but we'll see.
I guess other agenda things, I don't know if it's on there, is improving the common space, and I guess I was looking at some different designs of making kind of some flat pack plywood benches or love seats that just for the common space. So there's kind of seating. So we're not necessarily on the ground all the time unless we have like cushions and stuff. But, you know, I guess if the common space is cleaned up on the regular before each mealtime, it would make it, I guess, a little cozier for people, but it just seemed like it could have been nicer in some of the evening social settings to have more bench setup. And I guess we were just left with whoever brought, you know, camping chairs, and those were our seating. But it'd be nice to have something dedicated.
Yeah, there is going to be a eating area like steward and lead, so they would be responsible for that. I mean, the thing that's tough is when I did the math, it's like getting seating for 80 people is just really difficult. So like the ground is a good option, but whoever takes that role makes these decisions. You know?
Or possibly on the way back down again, we can just do goodwill runs, but looking for just pillows, like more, you know, like the square pillows to sit down on.
Yeah, I think that would go a long way, and I definitely like your idea.
I want a lazy boy.
Yeah.
Well, for you, Nick, you get whatever you want.
Lazy boy with a little beer cooler in it. That'd be perfect.
I mean, you're some kind of god, so you get whatever.
Yeah.
It's 100% true.
Anyway, I think that's a good idea, though, Sasha, because the whole floor seating idea thing kind of got lost because there was sometimes chairs and sometimes not chairs, and then you were kind of the sucker who had to sit on the floor.
Yeah. And
okay. I wanna move on. Don't be. The main point is just get in the roll sheet and write shit down that you think is great.
I just want to point out, if it's year of the moms want chairs. They do. It's hard to sit on the ground with dinner.
Sure.
So Sasha, you might be right. Some seating would be
good. Yeah. I like some seating just for. Well, just a relax and sit, like I guess back support, you know. And or having some type of little loungy area that's not necessarily the dining area. I mean, in the same general region, but like off to the side.
you know, if we end up making a second like a luminette structure, which is kind of in the works, we will have a lot of leftover carports, so we could extend the eating area and make it larger, and then we would probably have space for seats and stuff. It's a bit of a capital expense to get 80 chairs and larger tables.
Yeah, I'm not thinking 80 chairs, but maybe just a couple tables and chairs set up that's just kind of always there off to the side, not in the main space, but in kind of the side spaces that we had set up that we never really utilized last time around.
I mean, Camp Contact,
yeah, but what about
Camp Contact has very few tables. They actually just have mostly chairs or couches and that kind of thing, and then you just eat with your food in your lap.
Yeah, so, exactly. Well, I guess I'm speaking similar to what Camp Contact has, just a few couches that are just there to like sit and lay. Yeah, just a nice little cozy area to just get a little R&R.
Well, I think we should put it to the group and see if we can find a smart solution to have like some sort of seating option besides a bunch of lawn chairs.
Yeah, it's really got to be up. It's got to be up to the person who takes on this eating area role, because there's a lot of pieces and parts, and if you don't have one mind seeing the whole picture, then like shit goes wild.
Sure. And I can.
Sorry, Z. What was that?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest it was something that we would do pre-build before we went out to the event, but we can always get some reclaimed lumber and make some low-to-the-ground, like, chair frames that we could then put the pillows on. Like Sasha was suggesting, we can get, like just bigger pillows from the thrift store, but then we can give a back to it. You know, it's like if I take sewing in the front in the front end of it, but it's like if people want that, if we put it to the group, we want that. Like I've gone with someone else helping construct some sort of chairs, or like go to the ground, like how it's like things.
I mean, yeah, these are things that are kind of detailed. So I want to stay pretty macroscopic here, because it's really up to, all these decisions are they can be sent to the group, but they have to be led by a human, one specific human who signs up for a role. Yeah. So the next topic is internet and Wi-Fi. There's a group that's dedicated to figuring out the Wi-Fi stuff. So if you guys want in on that, if you want to help be part of the Wi-Fi working group, I can add you to the group. But we'll see what we can pull off.
Can we be frank though? Like it's not unless satellite. I don't necessarily like. So many people are accessing the network during the day. Like it kind of almost seems like. I don't know if I really think that we should have Wi-Fi. I know people have jobs and stuff that they're doing, but what I found was that we didn't have access to it. It never worked, and then we had people coming from other camps, like they could use the Wi-Fi, like not even to hang out with us. And so once everybody in the village was trying to get Wi-Fi too, then it was definitely not. So it just seems like a waste of energy.
Yeah, I
agree with Z.
Yeah. I think one thing we can do is sort of like have better, like it's almost like people spent more time trying to get on the internet because the internet was laggy and it was bad. So it was like people were on their computers more, and then they would like talk about it, and then other people would check to see. It was like this like weird cycle. So I almost feel like if we do internet, we should have some kind of like, hey, like this is like 20 minutes of access, right? And then it's like done, and it's for members only. So it should be like pretty regulated and keeping those minds in thought. Yeah.
I don't think we should. Yeah. Anyway, keep going. What you're saying.
How about if we just change the password every day or every other day?
Well, that's a good way to keep filtering people out.
Yeah.
Aren't we just supposed to share with other people? Like,
yeah, I mean, I kind of like it as a partial gift to the playa, honestly. And I think that there's like other unique ways that we can solve this internet problem, like potentially creating a mesh net where lots of people's cell phones had internet, you know. And if we make it really easy for people to share the cell phone internet with each other, then we'd have all sorts of different hotspots. And
if you seriously consider making it work, we should explore the idea we had earlier on the morning call and saying, let's just put up an antenna slightly higher that's purposefully built to do this, if we decide we actually want it working.
Yeah, having a kick. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. The main thing is that there's an internet work group. I'm pretty confident that we can't. There are people who really need access to the internet in our camp. Me being one of them. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just even for coordination, effective coordination for the camp, we need to have internet access. So
just as a reference, we had that same problem in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and we just threw a repeater up like 300 feet into like a really high tree, and built that. And within like a 10-foot radius around the repeater at the bottom, you actually get a really good cell phone signal. If we do something similar at Burning Man, where we just reach some height, we'll be able to do that too.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
So maybe the pinwheel.
In the end. Oh, yeah, the main story here is who knows what solution we have, but there is a group for it. Are there any topics? We don't have much time, so are there any topics that anyone wants to bring up that hasn't been mentioned yet?
Food.
Yeah.
Better.
What's the?
Signage and less chocolate.
Signage and chocolate. I mean, the chocolate was free. We should have just given away the chocolate better, honestly. But
I think we could do a fondue.
Yeah, exactly.
More avocados.
More avocados, of course. Let me just bring up my notes here. Yeah, so we're looking at about 80 people. That's what I understood.
Yep.
And we were 100 last year.
Yep.
Okay. I was thinking we would be closer to 60, but okay. All right. That doesn't really affect the food thing. And we're doing hexayurts again this year?
I'm pretty sure. I hope we have less, obviously. But we'll probably
and you're going to give people hexayurts with air conditioning units in them?
Some people will have AC. I hope a lot less than they did last year.
I personally have a hard time with that. Just with, you know, Burning Man culture and making people pay for hexayurts with air conditioning units in it, and it seems a bit weird. I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable. Just, I don't know. It seems out of place. Going on with that, I want to get rid of planned lunches.
Really?
And yeah, it just seemed like a really big shit show because people are like getting up and having breakfast like after most people have eaten lunch already, or you know, some of you eaten lunch. So it usually turns into kind of a shit show. So I'm looking at maybe taking a page from Camp Contact and just kind of having a running stock of things that people can take and use and make food with. And then we'll have a communal supper time. We'll do announcements and all that shit. But during build week, we'll still have a planned, you know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, because people need to eat. And so it needs to be more coordinated.
Well, that's that. And build week, we do that with Camp Contact, at least for the early build week.
Yeah, but we can also have like a short overlap, maybe where we're going to have a lunch or a supper, but then it'll take so much pressure off of finding chefs and so much pressure off of having people wait around for lunch or breakfast or whatever the hell meal they're having. And then we'll just have like a running stock of food. Because
Okay.
what happened last year, what I found is that it was just too much. You know, people weren't sure. People were still hungover as fuck, and they're trying to cook this food during lunch, and I just ended up having to be there the whole time, basically, because otherwise it just wasn't working.
So we would have just one main meal every day.
One big meal every day, same kind of format that we had it before. You know, a general range of like, okay, supper's gonna be ready around this time, and everyone out of the kitchen at this time, so that we can start cooking supper. And then, yeah, I think it'll be easier. We'll need half as many chefs and half as many planned meals. And then I can just do my order. I can order tons of vegetables and fruits, and I don't have to worry about being in the kitchen and cooking fucking lunch and breakfast and all this shit.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's your show, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Some kitchen notes as well. I think it would be really great if we rethink the gray water system in the kitchen. If we can find a better way to mine the
for sure.
Because that gray water fluorine pretty deep. It was over a foot and wide. So coming up with a better solution for that would be great, as well as if we can have an account of the food system, like everyone with their camp dues has to pay like an extra amount of money that you then get back after you've honored your shift. And that might be a bigger incentive for people to do their shifts, because there were people who were serving them a lot, and then there were other people who were having to jump in more often because they were around, and it was just creating an unfair balance of volunteerism.
I mean, I don't know if money is the best way to incentivize people to take their
We'll have to find a different way outside of money.
A solution that we need.
Also, it'll be easier because if we just make a system that needs less volunteers, that'll be easier as well.
Yeah.
But we'll have to put more emphasis on community responsibility, because if there's no lunch and everyone's just cooking food all the time, then we need to make sure that people are cleaning up as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. No lunch, no breakfast still means people need to eat lunch and breakfast. So
yeah, but it was happening all over the place because people are getting up all at different times, you know, up until, you know, as late as 3 p.m, people are getting up still. So it just was a bit too chaotic, and people were just showing up and just getting, you know, a bowl of cereal and going back to bed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, quick question. Is there a team that's set up that's dedicated to like infrastructure of the camp, like gray water, and like showering and power?
There is someone who is dedicated. There will be a Mario and an Elon, right? So last year, we had an Elon that bailed on us. So he was supposed to be our power guy, and then he bailed like a month before the burn. So I kind of had to backpedal, and Sean really stepped up in a role that he had a lot of other roles too. So that was kind of tough on him. But and then Stefan did all of the plumbing, gray water, and fresh water. So we don't have like an infrastructure team. We have a lot of leads and a lot of people who are responsible for things, and then we all kind of work together. But that's on the roll sheet, so that's the piece.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a lot of people who wanted more signs as well. So that's I think someone even added it to the roll sheet.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, well, we're 4 minutes over. Unless anyone has any other big topics, this was mostly an update call. So glad to see everybody's interest. Yeah.
My last thing is, do we have solutions in the works for a stronger strike team?
Yes.
Oh,
we will have.
yes.
The stronger what?
We will
What a
for sure
fucking
have
nightmare.
more people that are dedicated to staying longer. I mean, a lot last year there was there were about 4 or 5 people that I thought would stay longer that bailed, but this year it'll be more concrete that they're staying until the bitter end, for sure.
I think you should have a cap, you know, of people who either stay for build or stay for takedown, you know.
What do you mean?
I mean, well, just have like a certain requirement or something, you know, X amount of people, because I just find like a lot of people kind of paid their way out of taking responsibility for either one of those roles and just kind of like just showed up, paid full dues or paid whatever they had to, and then just took off when they were done partying, basically, you know. And then, you know, you saw what happened at Strike. That wasn't, you know, that wasn't fun for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we'll start Strike on Saturday this year as well.
Yeah.
And start taking down some of the pieces.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty depressing though, you know, seeing everybody just kind of take off. You know, they get their stuff, they go to the freaking Black Rock Airport, and they take off, and then, you know, we lost, you know, 50 people in like 1 or 2 days or something, and then you're like, oh shit, there's only like 10 people for Strike.
Yeah, for sure.
It was crazy. I mean, we had a shitload of stake, you know, it was their loss, but
yeah, I'll choose.
Oh, you broke up.
Long. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to go to Imagine this year, so I'll see if I can't stay longer. It's kind of dependent on where I have to be right after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really depressing to build this huge big camp, and then everyone just kind of bails right before the end, and then a few people get stuck with it, you know, piling stuff into a storage container in the middle of the dark during a dust storm.
I mean, that was fun, dude. I was using my broken leg to like kick the brush in.
With a broken leg.
Yeah, it was like, those were good times.
Oh, I just saw the photos.
But yeah, so we'll figure this stuff out.
Okay, but
this is the thing. It's like you know, the problems from the year before are never problems the next year, because there's going to be a huge emphasis to make sure. So it's like, okay, what problem did we not have last year? That is going to be the new problem this year. We'll find out.
Yeah. Well, as long as it gets said right out of the gate that this is a problem and we need to find like a really definite solution for it.
Yeah, at least on the roll sheet, there's, I think, 9 takedown closers. Yeah, I put down 9 takedown closers of people who are dedicated to stay to the bitter end. And we'll probably get some stragglers too, you know?
Yeah. Why don't you double that number though?
Well, because
imagine how fast to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I could double that number. If we can find more people that want to commit to it, we could go more.
I don't know.
And there is a discount on dues that I have to consider, and how to split that across, you know. But like in the end, I was thinking that we'd have 9 people who get a discount on dues for doing it, but then there might be others who want to stay.
Yeah, or maybe you could make.
The most important thing would just be to have a plan. Like Saturday we start tear down of the stuff that we don't need, and if we just have like step by step, and it's the most people present, we tear down the stuff that's the most annoying to do with less people.
Yeah, I think C has a point. We wasted a lot of time not knowing what to do with Strike. You know, it was a lot of, we were like, hey, what's the next step? And nobody really knew how to tackle taking down a lot of things. And yeah.
Yeah, I'll add a Strike lead.
For sure. Maybe 2 Strike leads. Like, just get so many people on Strike and it just gets done so fast.
Yeah.
Like you saw across the street in Mistopia. Boom, done.
Well, Mistopia was a collection of like smaller groups.
Yeah, but there was still 80 in the main Mistopia group. And I talked to them, and everybody had to stay for strike. That was the rule.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at least in Mistopia. I don't know about the other ones, but Mistopia, everyone stayed for strike. And it was just boom, done. They're out of there by like Sunday morning.
Wow, everyone stays for strike.
Man, you saw them. There was like, I don't know, so many people there.
Yeah, Mistopia was gone before we even thought about it.
Yeah. We're out of there. Yeah, eat my dust.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, this is over by about 10 minutes, so I want to respect this time's time.
All right.
The main thing is get into this roll sheet and add some more. We're coming up with great ideas. I would love to see them end up with roles and accountabilities and descriptions in here.
Can you remind me where the roll sheet is?
I'll send a link to. It's in the agenda doc, but I'll send the link to you directly right now.
Cool. Yeah, I got that agenda doc though, but yeah, either.
Oh, both and baby.
Okay.
Okay. Well, cool guys. Thank you. If you need to get into any of these groups, the internet group, the art card group, or if you want to start some other working group, just ask me. I'm happy to coordinate, and let's make this shit happen.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool guys. I'll see you around.
Sounds good.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Griff?
Yeah.
If there's anything I can do to